sorry for this beautiful, I don't want to apologize for beautiful weather, but I think I have to. It's a little warm and the chairs are hot, but they'll keep you toasty. If I can have everyone's attention, I want to welcome you all to this momentous occasion. My name is Bill Sadlow. I'm proud to be the president and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Sarasota and DeSoto counties. I think we need more volume on this. We're good? Okay. I first want to start by bringing up our friend Zamarik, who is a club member here at the Gene Matthews Club, and he's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're able to stand, please stand with Zamarik. And the flag is right here being held down by a brick behind the podium because of the wind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's give him a big round of applause.
Please take your seats, and in no particular order at all, I want to recognize some of our special guests that are here with us today. We have Northport Mayor Alice White, City of Northport Chief of Police Todd Garrison, there's Chief back there, Sarasota County School Board Member Tom Edwards. There's Tom. We have Sarasota County Commissioner Joe Nunder, Northport City Commissioner Debbie McDowell, from Congressman Greg Stubbe's office, we have Eddie Stokes and Leah Esch, right over there. I want to do a special recognition for City Commissioner Emmerich, who is unable to join us today, but we wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. We also have Northport City Commissioner Phil Stokes and Northport City Commissioner Barbara Langdon. So I hope I did not miss anyone, but thank you all so much for your support of this project and for being here with us today. I now want to recognize our board. Without their leadership, we wouldn't be able to do this either. And with us today is our chair of our board, Mr. Ken Freeman. I think he's behind balloons. Oh, there he is back there. Mr. Freeman and Mr. Steve Townsend, the chair of our foundation board. Would all of our board members please stand or wave wherever you are and be recognized? We can't do this without board leadership. Thank you all. So 27 years ago, almost to this date, I believe it was in May, we stood at this very site. Actually, it was the second building there, the original church buildings that we purchased in the 5 acres from South Biscayne Baptist Church. And I couldn't help but think of how much things have changed in 27 years in our world and for the city of Northport, how much it has changed here. I was here holding my son, Billy, who is now 27 plus. And now, as Mr. Edwards pointed out, I'm holding a grandson that he calls Mini-Me, but who's also that same age Billy was 27 years ago. So it's amazing how much has changed, but how many wonderful things have happened here. But a few things haven't changed, and that's the commitment of our organization to the children of Northport. And we want to stay true to that, and that's why we're here today. And that's why we're so excited today to do the ceremonial groundbreaking of the Stephen and Marjolaine Townsend campus. So this is an exciting day for all of us. And we would not be here, none of us would be here today if it wasn't for a very special man with a vision. And that was Gene Matthews. Now vision sells Gene short. Gene had a vision and he was tenacious. He would not take no for an answer, especially if you were talking about the youth of Northport or the youth of the greater Sarasota community, because he served them all. And we want to recognize now Lorraine Matthews. Lorraine's here with us today. There she is. Lorraine and the Matthews family. We're going to get a photo of them doing groundbreaking too. Thank you for sharing Gene with us all these years. We certainly miss him. And speaking of change, with the new Townsend campus, one thing's not going to change. This will be the Stephen and Marjolaine Townsend campus, home of the new Gene Matthews Club. The name will stay the same for Mr. Matthews. It'll be a 14,000 square foot facility, starting about where I'm standing now, and heading that way towards the old church buildings. They will be coming down when we officially start the project. It is a state-of-the-art building. We have renderings over there with food pantry, teen center, technology centers. It's going to be an amazing asset for the children of Northport. And I want to recognize people now who have helped make that possible. And I just lost my, that's why I lost it. It blew away. I know the people, but I got to stay in order here. Before I do that though, I want to talk about how we got here. 1995, Boys and Girls Clubs in Sarasota County, then before the name change, started serving youth at the Scout House, city-owned Scout House. Then in 1997, we finally purchased the land here with the help of our friends from Gulf Coast Community Foundation and bought the church. And in 1997, we started serving children out of those two buildings. The building behind me that you see here, the gymnasium, athletic center, didn't open until 2001. So, and also in this new project, that's going to remain, and the building will be built next to it. So we'll have the same gymnasium and a brand new 14,000 square foot building. But I tell you that history to tell you in 2008, we started talking about how do we expand here in Northport, and I think you know what happened to our economy in 2008. And we felt the effects of that past 2012. So then we stayed put here for a while, and then in 2019, we kicked off an initiative and said, Northport has changed a lot. We want to serve more children in Northport. Where do we serve them? Is this the right spot still, or do we look elsewhere? Well, as luck would have it, we were hit with a pandemic when we started that conversation. So we kind of lost some momentum there. Then, of course, you all know better than anyone what happened in late September 2022.
Yeah.
Hurricane Ian visited here and took out those buildings where they're not usable or safe for youth anymore. So in the aftermath of that, and I will tell you, I know it hasn't been an easy year and a half for this community, but our staff and our kids are this community. Our club director, Travis McDowell, who didn't have running water, was going to our club in Venice to take a shower, didn't have electricity. He was out here handing out essentials and food to our families. And yeah, he deserves a hand. And serving youth in without those two buildings, just out of a gymnasium and a covered pavilion. But he and the staff care, and they got it done. But during that aftermath, we surveyed the damage in the surrounding area where our families live, and we knew, regardless of future growth, we were in the right place right here at this campus. And that's why we made the decision to kick this off. So, we knew we were in the right location. I knew we had the right team on our board behind us, including Mr. Tom Shapiro, who donates all of his time and his resources to head up all of our construction projects. So we were in good hands there. And now the daunting task of where are we going to get $9 million? Now, I'm going to caution you there, this new building itself does not cost $9 million. But when you demo the old buildings, when you add portables and have to do the rent on that, you have to do all the site work. We're going to refurbish the gymnasium to bring it up to the standards of the new building. We're going to be right there. So we talked about this at a board meeting, and the first thing that happened was Mr. Steve Townsend stepped up with his wife Marge and made a leadership gift to make this happen. Right after that, Jamie and Julie heard about it, and they stepped up with a significant contribution, so we were off and running. So yeah, give them a round of applause. You're going to hear from them both shortly. So we then, the two of them said, we'll go with you. We went and visited our friends, and I say friends and partners at Gulf Coast Community Foundation. And it was a short meeting. We were all in agreement. They said they'd get back to us. They called, I don't know if it was an emergency board meeting, how they did it, but the turnaround was amazing. And they made a leadership gift also for this project. So Philip and Gulf Coast, thank you. We'll be hearing from them shortly too. And the exciting part is, through Gulf Coast, through Jamie and Julie's contacts, we started talking to our new friends from Atlanta who are truly a part of this community. I was just telling them how much the impact they've had on us and this community already in the short time they've been here. And the Atlanta Braves Foundation made a significant contribution to this project, so we're proud to have them here too. And then our board member, Alex Armstrong, made a leadership gift along with Jimmy Devellano. And here we are, sitting at $3.5 million. And the message today is we are excited about kicking off this new campus, but there's more work to be done. And that's why we're here today to the community to say, this is a worthwhile project. We all need to invest in it. And there they are. That's why we're doing it. I don't ever mind being interrupted by the youth. That's wonderful. So that's why we're doing this. So this is a ceremonial groundbreaking to kick this off, but now I want to introduce a very special couple to you. I mentioned their leadership gift to make us feel like this could be a reality, and they do so much more. They have an endowed scholarship that's being held in our foundation. Besides doing it in Connecticut and supporting youth all over the country and the world, they have an endowed scholarship where 21 new youth from Northport and the surrounding Sarasota and DeSoto County areas will be getting college scholarships this year for a total of 87 Townsend scholars to date. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Steve and Marge Townsend.
Thank you all, and thank you, Bill. We really do appreciate everybody being here with us today. Marge and I are newbies to this region. For 56 years, she and I made Northeast Connecticut our home. We grew up there. We went to high school together. We dated when we were 15, got married at 19, had our children there. I started a number of my businesses in Northeast Connecticut, and we really work to embrace community. That's really important to us, and up there we were lead donors in a number of capital campaigns, including a new ED at Big Kimball Hospital, as well as an education wing at QVCC. Bill referenced the scholarships. That's our passion, is giving scholarships to youth who really may not otherwise have an opportunity to go to school. And in Connecticut, we've given now north of 400 scholarships up there, and as Bill referenced, we've done 87 scholarships down here, and that number is going to continue to grow. When we moved here in 2013, we moved into the Suncoast region with Lakewood Ranch, and the first thing we did was to seek out organizations that we felt we could have an impact on. We discovered the great work being done by the Boys and Girls Club, and that became our first initial contact. We were then introduced to Take Stock in Children, and that's how we came to put together the Endowed Scholarship Fund that we now use to provide the 2-year scholarships to the children here. For whatever reason, they asked me to come onto the board, so I did come onto the foundation board. And so a little bit of a story. I came onto the board in 2018. After COVID, the board decided we needed to move our meetings around because some of the members of the foundation had never been to the other clubs. I, for one, had never been down to Northport, had never been to Arcadia, had never been to Venice. So roll back your clocks to September 8, 2022. We actually held our first foundation board meeting not in Sarasota, but came down here to Northport. And it was eye-opening for us because we had been spoiled by what we had in Fruitville, at the Fruitville location with the teen center and all of the attributes we had up there. And I remember saying to Bill, geez, Bill, it would be nice if we could be doing the same thing down here at Northport. I had read that Northport is the fastest growing community in the country. And you think about, that, and we're operating out of a facility like this. Bill, to his credit, reminded me that, we had a lot of things on our plate. We were kicking off the Arcadia facility. We had a study committee looking at Newtown, and we had a project going on at the Fruitville location. But 3 weeks later, Hurricane Ian changed all of that when it did the damage to that. So Marge and I, after some soul searching, and I'll have to tell you that I had come down here with the intention of not getting involved in another bricks and mortar capital campaign. I had already done 4 major gifts to capital campaigns, and I had promised her I wasn't going to do that, and you see how well that one worked out. So, but we both decided that this is a gift that was worth making, and we live by a mantra that basically says we want to pay it forward. Our goal in life is to pay it forward so we can help in the areas where we know we can help. And the club for us is certainly that area. And so we are so pleased to be here with you today. We are so looking forward to sharing this project with Jamie and Julie and Gulf Coast Community Foundation, Braves. We know this is going to be a wonderful project when it's all said and done. Thank you.
Thank you both. And one thing I forgot to mention, that as of last night, we talked about how we got to the 3.5 million. We got an earmark from Congressman Stubbe from the federal government for $500,000. So we want to thank Congressman Stubbe and the team that's here that supports our youth. He always steps up and is there for our youth, I will tell you that. So now, we've talked about how we got here. We want to introduce Jamie and Julie DiDomenico to share their investment in this project.
Tough day to wear black. Black seats, black shirt, black shoes. Hello everyone, I'm Jamie DiDomenico, and I just want to tell you a little bit about our connection to the Boys and Girls Club. And Julie is my life partner, and we moved over here about 20 years ago, and started a company called Cool Today. And about 13 years ago, Lee Wetherington brings me over to the Fruitville office and says, listen, we need a little help with the air conditioning up there. And, you know, we're a little light on funds, you know, we're still suffering from the Great Recession. And I got there, and Bill was there, and Mac Reed, and some other folks up on the board, and they said, you know, we have these challenges with cost. And I said, don't worry about it. You know, Cool Today will cover all the equipment, all the maintenance, and repairs, and filter changes, and stuff like that for the buildings. And he said, great, all 128 systems? Well, of course I said yes. And we've been their partners ever since. And I got involved probably about a year or two later, and on committees, then on the board. And what starts out as a zest for helping the kids through a building, right? Hard asset. You say, wow, there's a lot of costs associated with this. About 4 or 5 years later, I went to a function for a holiday party. And we put up a big board. I don't know if Bill remembers this, or Mike Doyle. Put up a big board and had kids write their wishes down. You know, what do you want? What's your big wish in life? Some people say, I wish to do this in life.